All right, North Wilkesboro here. So I'm going to go 14 to 1. That's just what I'm comfortable with. Do whatever you want. It doesn't make a difference. 10-degree steering offset's default. That keeps the wheel straight for me. And then I'm messing around with brake bias. 63 is where I'm pretty comfortable with. I don't really want to go any lower. Feels pretty sketchy if I go any lower than that. Okay. So for this corner right here, I'm just doing a setup. Probably not going to have the grip for turn 1 to make this a lap 1 hop lap. Probably going to be a lap 2. But we'll try. No, it's just very low grip there. I mean, it was all right, but you just see how little grip we have. Also, the track temp is a little bit hotter than when I set that reference time a little earlier. So it might be a little bit off of what that reference time is. But we'll keep going here. Early turn, early brake, try to get the car pointed all the way down the track. That was okay with how little grip we had there. And I'm going to brake early into here, get the car settled right by here. And be a little bit patient to come off the corner. That is pretty good for the track temperature we got. We're probably at like 111 by now. Yeah, 111. I think I was at 108 or 109 with that first time that I did up here. So this lap has it should be fast for the track temp, but we'll see what the races are run at. So set up here, I start up, just slow the car down really early and then keep it up high, and then you just kind of wait until you can just turn down the hill and make a straight line out of the exit. And then once you can do that, you just hard throttle off. Try to get the wheel to open up early so that you don't get loose over this transition right here. Still gets loose, but it's pretty fine. Okay, turn 1. I think I overdrove this just slightly. It's hard. The hotter the track gets, the more you have to slow down the car on entry. What happens sometimes, like I did here, is I'll get the car in the corner, but it won't be pointed the right way. But the problem is if you want it pointed the right way to late apex, because 1 and 2 usually likes a late apex North Wilkesboro. That's like the standard line in iRacing. So to get that line, you have to get your nose turned down by the center of the corner. And here, I don't get my nose turned down until like 2/3 of the way through the corner. So that's not really a late apex. That's just kind of like a line, maybe even a diamond, if you want to call it that. But in order to get that late apex, I found that I just have to slow down way too much the hotter the track gets. So on the slightly cooler track temperatures, I would send it a little bit more up high, knowing that I could turn down the nose earlier. But because I was kind of struggling with turning the nose down as early as I wanted to, instead, I'm kind of sending this almost diamond line, because the goal, regardless of how you enter the corner, is to get nose down, straight exit off of 2. That's what North Wilkesboro really likes, is that. So however you do it, you want nose down by corner exit. Okay, 3 and 4, it's more of a traditional arc. Arc and get to the bottom, and then you see that I just yank the wheel because I know that this car is really tight mid-corner, or really anywhere. Like it's loose under tons of throttle, but so is everything if you put a big motor in it. So this car here, I know is not going to want to stay at the bottom, so I add a ton of wheel for it just to keep it at the bottom. And again, this car does not rotate if you have any gas in the car. So even though in other cars I would be partial throttling right here, that does not work in this car. You have to just be coasting if you don't want to be braking. So that transition, I had to wait a little bit. If you go too early on the throttle, the car's gonna slide up too early. Like I wouldn't go full throttle. I wouldn't throttle until like just before the pit exit or the pit entry here, because the thing does not want to turn under throttle. So it doesn't matter how much speed you're carrying, you just can't throttle until you have the angle. But once you have the angle, then you can just kind of smash it and go. I wouldn't recommend that for the race, but for qualifying, yeah. For the race here, I suspect Dirty Air to be playing quite a bit of a factor here. like North Wilkesboro is pretty single groove. 3 and 4 you can maybe make some stuff work, but 1 and 2, and I mean I guess 1 and 2 is varied in terms of like how you approach it, but it's still always going to be this like turn down. You don't want to be doing that. That destroys your rear tire. That's just cold tires though. So like I would just be focusing on my line, not worrying about what my points are, because you can get off really early at North Wilkesboro and just be completely fine. In fact, this might be a better lap than my qualifying. That'd be kind of funny. Oh, I got back on the gas a little early. I wanted it too bad. I mean, it's still a little bit better. I think I caught a cloud. You can see the track's a little shaded. But the thing is with like short tracks in this ARCA car, like I'm just approaching it like I'm qualifying every single lap, with the exception of I do not want any wheel spin in the rears. And you can see like how you can enter 1 and 2 kind of differently, and it comes out with similar results. That line I just did there was a good defensive line, so that no one can kind of dive bomb you. But the optimal line is always going to be this like start high, get the car pointed down low, and then just throttle really early like this. Like, yeah, that's my best right there. That's a purple sector on like lap whatever. So you can kind of, I mean, I think it's more track temp. You can see that we're catching the shade. Oh, that's a little bit of rear spin that I didn't want. Oh, don't want to do that. So yeah, I think that, yes, this is a short track in this ARCA car. I think that you are best off going for these late apexes and just making sure you're not spinning your rears, because that's how you're going to get all your speed on the exits. If you have no rear tire to hold on to and take all of the grip that you need to get off on an exit like this, like that takes a good amount of rear tire grip. But if you're wasting it all spinning your tires, then you're going to fall off much quicker and it's going to be a lot worse. You can see the fall off is negligible right now. And you can see how I'm not really even doing turn 1 in a specific way. It's just like wherever I end up, I'm like, I just want my nose down by the exit of the corner. Like you can enter up like all the way up here, and it's like still the same lap time if I do this. Like that's like literally the same lap as last lap. I just took the opposite line. And you're like, oh, well, doesn't that mean that there's going to be a lot of passing here? I mean, maybe there's going to be some dive bombs into 1 like this. But the problem is everyone needs to funnel in to that lower exit of turn 2. So that's where whoever can get there is like the dominant car. And I think it's usually going to be the outside car. They can get a good enough angle to get the runoff. Then 3 and 4 is as single lane as it gets, in my opinion. People are going to miss the single lane, but there's only going to be 1 right lane, in my opinion, for 3 and 4. Yeah, I'm pretty even tire wear. Probably a little more on each tire than I would have wanted by that point because I was sliding a little bit. But yeah, that's the current state of our ARCA car. Thank you.